up in Alaska some hometown love for an international breakdance champion. The city of Anchorage has honored b-boy Icey Ives with a proclamation for his accomplishments and service to the Anchorage community.
What's up, Undiscovered SF? This is RJ Cool Raul, and I'd like to introduce you to a segment we call Filipino Champions, both in competition and in community. Today, I'd like to introduce to y'all a brother that's from the Pacific Northwest. He goes by the name of Jeremy Beret, aka b-boy Ives. What's good, Ives?
What's up, everybody? My name is Ives Veray, government name Jeremy. People know me as Icey Ives. I am from Anchorage, Alaska. I was born on September 1st, 95, which makes me 25 years old. First generation, actually, to be born in the United States in my family, so very proud of that. And appreciate you for having me on today's show, man. I'm ready to get this rolling and get into some topics. Let's get deep.
What is it like
in
Alaska?
You'll see people of all races. It's pretty
Nice.
diverse. Our community here has grown because back then you would see a Filipino family and then you would recognize them. You'd probably know them, but now it's like every time you go somewhere, like, oh wow, I've never seen these people before, so for the most part I would say it's diverse, and there's definitely a handful of Filipinos out here in Anchorage.
We're on the future stage right now, so we really want to talk to the younger generation of both artists, performers, and also community leaders. And one big reason why you're in this conversation right now is because you are an amazing dancer. I mean, if you could just elaborate a little bit more on that, the early stages of your dance career, what did that look like?
I started in '07. It was just me doing different dances like sea walking. Because that was probably one of the first art forms that I came across was sea walking, a little bit of popping. Tried to crump. I was already like an athletic kid because prior to dance, I was actually into sports. My favorite sport back then was basketball. The first time I was ever exposed to dance was when I was like a little boy. I think I was like 5 or 6. I was at a Filipino get-together. It was my cousin's 21st birthday. They invited us, of course, upstairs. You would have the OGs, all the parents, and all the aunties and uncles just chopping it up. Downstairs was mainly the younger heads. And when I got down there, that's when I saw my cousins breaking, and one was on the turntables, and that's when I actually got exposed to two elements for the first time, was by my Tolentino cousins. They put me on the spot, of course, being the youngest. The bunso, they would call me the bunso because I was always the youngest. And for some reason, they would always put the bunso on the spot, whether it's me singing, dancing, doing whatever, try to entertain them. I was kind of exposed to just being an entertainer at a young age. It definitely sparked in a way. That was when I was 6 years old, but I didn't actually start getting into it until I was 11, 12. That's like the first time I actually wanted to take dance serious.
What was that spark? What did it tell you when you turned 11, 12?
Watching movies like Stomp the Yard, You Got Served, even seeing you guys on ABDC, like that season right there was like a big reason why we wanted to start breaking.
Yeah, that's crazy because when I was around that age, we had something similar, but it wasn't with dance, it was with skating. And we basically skated at like my middle school for like 5 hours after school. And then on Saturdays, Sundays, we just spent all day there. But, eventually there was some older heads that would come by and just kind of like school us, or they'd teach us some things. Who were some early motivations that helped you elevate your dance and maybe even start competing?
Definitely one for our original crew. My original crew, we go by EOR. That stands for Express Original Rhythm. But at the time in '07, it stood for Elements of Rice because we were all Asian. My first crew definitely had a big influence in just staying hungry. There was a crew that went by Alaskan Assassins, and they were kind of like our big brother crew at the time. Let's say we're in the dance room and then they would show up, we would have to move to the corner because of course we gotta respect their elders and whatever. That's just how it works. Yeah, man, just to be specific, at the time, B-Boy Glue, B-Boy Expression, B-Boy Chips, Victimone, Alaskan Assassins was they're definitely pioneers in Alaska. Got to give it up to those guys. Yeah.
From, the local jams, the international jams, to probably the biggest one-on-one B-boy battle out there, BC1, Share with us a little bit about that experience.
The only place that was really close to us and convenient we were able to afford was just going to Seattle, Washington. We used to go to this jam a lot. It was called Northwest Sweet 16, thrown by Team Chips. That was like our BC1 at the time. My first Cali jam was actually Style Elements in 2014. There would be times where I would never make it past top 16. You know, that's probably like the worst feeling as a b-boy, having to pay out of pocket, spending thousands of dollars on hotels, flights, food, etc. I feel like for me that was my sacrifice, having to live in Anchorage, Alaska, and put down all that money, you know, for something you want to do and achieve. Of course, there's going to be some kind of sacrifice, and for me it's definitely that right there.
I was just going to say that's something that is so important, especially for this generation of competitive b-boys who are looking to get that sponsorship or who are looking to get flown out, right? Because we kind of live in this generation where there's a little bit more funding to these events. I'm really glad to hear this story of you basically saving money just to go out of your town to get that experience. And also to hear the lessons of, you know, the frustrations of not making it past top 16. That's exactly how it was for me and my crew as well. But one thing special about you is that you have been able to basically excel as a solo performer. One of the last competitions that I've actually seen you compete at was a BC1 North America event, yeah?
Well, prior to all of this and being able to just travel and get flown out to places that I want to now, this was all because of being down with Rock Forest crew. I feel like without me getting down with them, I might still have some opportunities, but not at this level. Once I got down with Rock Forest, it was like Korea tomorrow, pack your bags. Here, let's go to France. All right. And all of that started happening just with the first 3 months of being down with Rock Forest. Being down with such an established crew, arguably one of the best crews in the United States, even the world right now, that definitely played a big role on why I'm getting certain opportunities I am. And like I said, without certain individuals in your life, you wouldn't be where you are today. And I could say that and be proud of it, because we all need help at the end of the day.
You kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but I wanted to ask you to go a little bit deeper into the Rock Forest conversation. Some of the folks that are watching this probably don't even understand who Rock Forest is, but we'll share a link on the bottom for more details about some of the accolades that Rock Forest has accomplished.
Word up. So the first person who's ever reached out to me in the organization of Rock Forest was Kareem. Kareem hit me on the DMs on Instagram, and ever since then I was mind blown. I was like, yo, this is the Kareem. You know, I was watching this guy since I was a little kid. You know, he's an icon in our community. Reaching out to a kid from Alaska, I was at my first event with getting down with and representing with Rock Forest. He actually flew me out, so he paid my whole ticket. Ever since then, man, like I got in touch with, of course, the president, Polsky Ruma, definitely a big mentor of mine, man. John Icey, he's like sensei, my sparring partner. Behind the scenes, Morris too, man. Me, Morris, and Kareem was like the trio when Rock Forest was getting back in the scene again, and brothers in the battlefield.
I gotta say, man, one of the very first things that led me to take real sharp notice of you was your training videos on IG. You know, where did you learn to train like that, or have you always been like that?
I knew that something had to change if I was gonna make it. One of my biggest inspirations outside of dance is Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Kobe, man. He's definitely a big influence of why I wanted to train hard. Just hearing him and just listening to him, it just hits differently, because it's almost like, in a sense, it's not human, you know?
A memory just came up. We were at Polsky's garage. I think you had just come in. You just came into town. I just came from work, or I just came from somewhere, and he was like, go 5 rounds real quick. I forgot how many rounds.
Yeah.
But I was like,
yeah, it was like 5.
But it felt like 10, dog. Super quick, lightning round status. What are like 3 or 4 memories or favorite moments from jams?
So these are memories that some people wouldn't consider good memories, but for me, they're good memories. So one memory in particular was it was the last R16 to ever happen. This was in 2015, I believe. This is the first time I represented for the USA, and it was my turn. Last round, my turn against Russia. Before I went out, people in our crew were like, "Yo, you got this. Just kill it. I believe in you. It's your time to shine, kid." And then I went out. I thought we took it because the whole time our energy was just higher than Russia's, but I guess skill wise it didn't really even out. They kind of edged us a bit, and I guess they edged us because of my last round. I remember Cujo came up to me. He was like, "Yeah, man, your round just wasn't that dynamic, man." After that, I was like, "Damn, we lost because of me. The USA lost because of me." After he said that, I quoted it on my phone and I put it as my wallpaper. Like, that kid's round wasn't dynamic enough, and every time I would see that at practice, it would just fuel me. A second memory was another one. I was representing in Poland with Rock Force crew, and this squad was stacked again. It was Benji, Machine, Kareem, Morris, Brett, and myself. Actually, the first time I ever met Benji and Machine was that day. Not a lot of people know this, but I was just a real introvert back then. To some extent, I still am now, but I found a way to balance my introvert self and be able to conversate and not be awkward. Before our battle in Poland, because Machine's he's like the coach. He's there to hype people up before we battle. Like, "You guys ready?" Right? I feel like we're all ready, but I don't know about that kid right there. What's your name again? And he pointed at me. That was another make or break moment, because you gotta be verbal on the squad, man. You gotta use your voice and make sure everybody knows that we're on the same page. And again, like, I was just quiet. And he said, "What was your name again?" I was like, "I'm Ives." And "Yeah, man, I'm ready." Like, after that, I definitely learned that being vocal in the team is important. Another memory. You said 3 or 4, or just
one more? Give us one more.
Honestly, I would say just being able to hit a two-peat with the BC1 national finals. That was probably a big moment. Those whole 2 years, there wasn't a day where I took a rest day, because I would go crazy if I missed a day. Every single day would be 2 days. In the morning time, I would wake up, do my conditioning, do my yoga. Those 2 years definitely paid off, and I was able to two-peat, and that meant the world to me. It just shows that hard work really does pay off. You can have talent, but if talent and hard work is there, then it's almost unstoppable,
With all the experiences that you've had, man, I gotta say that you choosing the most difficult moments as memories is really important, because a lot of the times we savor the good times. We take in and soak in all the goodness. But I just really appreciate you taking the time to realize that there's so much to learn in these difficult times. Living in this time of COVID, find the moments to be grateful for what we've got, even though it's not the most favorable time, right? Just wanted to kind of close this out with, what you feel is necessary for this next generation.
Understanding that there's always going to be somebody that's going to take your place in the future, regardless of what you're doing, right? So with that, it's just these 3 words right here. You always got to be a student, man, and excel outside of my dance, and transitioning into being a community leader and being able to mentor younger generation dancers in our community. Right now, there's a lot of negativity, and you just kind of want to stay away from it, right? So we just kind of decompress at the end of the day, man. We got to worry about our mental health. Very underrated topic that people don't want to speak about is mental health. We just got to be mindful of everybody in our circle. We're all going through something in life. Obviously, we're all going through something right now, but deeper, somebody's always going to go through something that you're not aware of. So we just kind of keep outreaching and making sure we're all good, we're staying grounded, and take time for ourselves. Take 2-3 hours out of your day just to focus on you. Turn your phone off, do some deep breathing, go on a walk, just love yourself.
That's dope, bro. Yo, I think that's a good place to end it. Share with us all of your social media.
You guys can find me on my IG at bboyives. You could also check my website out, icey.com. and you'll find more information about other links and whatnot on that website. So yeah, man.
Ives, I appreciate you, dog. Thank you for taking this time out to do this interview. And to the folks that are watching this, once again, my name is RJ Cool Raul, and this is the Filipino Champions segment of Undiscovered SF right here on the Future Stage.